This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. Start recording. All right, this is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. Let's get into it. Again, if you are just dropping in, we are doing a live version of this for once. Typically don't do that, but I'm trying to incorporate such so that everybody who's following can ask questions at some point or just be a little more interactive. Also, too, if you're newer to the channel, please check out the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Promise you it's well worth it. Well, how about them Cowboys? No, this isn't Jimmy Johnson celebrating. I think it was like a Super Bowl win. How about the SMH, y'all? I mean, we talked about buy the rumors, sell the news. Whew, a lot of stuff going on. I am just getting back to my computers as well, so we're going to see this together for the first time as the day went on. Again, we anticipated a lot of this action, but let's get into it. Bitcoin, as normal. I've said, if it can't get over the 24,000 area, you got to run. You just got to run. There's something not right with it. I don't know. It's the same thing as gold. Actually, I do know. It's a bear market. Nothing is safe. I mean, I'm trying to like sugarcoat it because I have a lot of people who follow for Bitcoin and they just don't want to hear that it's going to potentially go lower. Now, I can't really tell you for sure how deep the correction is going to be, but in a bear market, everything's sold. This action reminds me of this pop and chop, this pop and chop, and then fail. So I don't know what to tell you folks who are really getting excited about Bitcoin. I don't have any excitement at all. If the tone of my voice reflects how excited I am about Bitcoin, that's what it is. I mean, after this point, again, if you did not take any profits up here, you might be in what would be maybe the biggest and longest pullback it's ever had. I mean, could it pull some sort of gold, go nowhere for a decade kind of trade? Say yes if you acknowledge that, because that's the biggest fear about trading and holding Bitcoin. I mean, not even trading. Trading, it's fine. It's just holding it forever. The perma bulls and perma bears in any asset class typically get rewarded and then it's game over. US oil. All right. Oil popping, chopping, not surprised. This is one of those trades where I think ultimately it's going lower. Demand destruction, yada, yada, yada. Inflation will be peaking near term, but when the winter kicks in, Russia starts flexing. And when I mean flexing, meaning like at some point, literally in the few maybe weeks, months, when it gets cold in the northern hemisphere, there's gonna be continued issues. All right, just it is what it is. Now what? I mean, again, if you want to trade it, go right ahead. I've tried to be very clear about what I think the best short is. Short tech, short tech, short tech. It's really that simple, y'all. And if you want to do other stuff, I get it. I believe if you would have shorted oil, I think here, yeah, if you would have shorted oil on this pop up in the 104.05, I think you can be holding through it. But at this point, you'd have to trade it, and there's just too many good ideas out there. Why would I? You know, again, it's like longing gold. Okay, it's going higher, but how high can it really go? Just leave it alone. It's the reverse of that kind of thing. TLT. Again, if you know the typical format of this and you know the order, which again is always posted in the description, and you have a question that relates to the order, I appreciate it. I don't want to bounce around names that I don't really care to talk about because ultimately, again, I can't be uber focused to everything. So I can read your comments as they're coming in live. All right. TLT. What did we say, y'all? It's got to hold. It's got to hold the 20-day and channel low. It held it. At this point, what? At this point, what? The CPI is coming out. We have no clue. I told people if you took profits up here, I don't blame you one bit. If you layer down, I get it. We said you could probably buy it on the 20-day, which honestly, the 20-day wasn't even the best. It was this. Remember we talked about high volume highs, high volume lows? Here you go. Here is a high volume, whatever candle that's a low and high. I think it doesn't actually have to be at the lows or the highs, but it can be an extreme. And if you look at the TLT previously, it was coming down, right? This is one of the biggest puke candles. Well, guess what? It came back to 116s, went below it, closed back over it. Now what? You're literally right in between the ranges. I have no clue. I have literally no clue what's next. It's a complete gamble to act like you do. So what do? We take the profits. That's what you have to do, right? I don't want to tell you guys that there's really anything other than that to do. So please be safe. Please be smart. The dollar. Oh, man. Oh, my God. It is just chopping nowhere. Again, I say this every video, and people need to hear this. The end of the dollar move is not what? A monster drop. No, it's a monster rip-roaring rally up to the moon. Up to the sun. Whatever you want to call it. That's what happens. And at that point, then you can look for a weakness to short. Who knows? I mean, keep in mind, it's the dollar. It's still better than the euro, yuan, the yen, name every South American country out there. It's still the best, sadly, currency in the world, even though we are treating it like trash. That's all I got to say. Oh, man, the latency looks like it's like 8 or 10 seconds. Poo. Check that next time. So at this point, again, I don't know near term, but I do anticipate higher highs. I mean, think about this as a nice uptrend, right? It just kind of flows. Like, this is the kind of trend you would see. Now, I feel like this is what confuses people because they look at the monthly and they're like, oh, it's just a straight up move. And it's like, no, it's smooth. It's smooth. Better than the Canadian dollar. Ha! Ha! Good God. That's a good question. No, that's a joke. Thank you. I laughed. You got me on that one. Better than the Canadian dollar. The loonie. VIX. Let's talk about it. This is a reoccurring pattern. If you're newer to the channel and you haven't seen this, it's like, where were you at? We talked about W's bottoming during the retest during the first 3 trading days of the month. Got it there. You kind of got it. Oh, here's the retest right here. You held the trend. You bounced. Well, now it's below the trend, right? Game over. I don't know why, but I have this sneaky old uptrend. Let's follow it back. Oh, look at that. Kind of connected some tops. Not really. It's a sneaky trend. Again, that's why my charts are sloppy. Sometimes things happen to mean something. Is it ironic it's holding here? It's probably more has to do with the 20 level. Now what? If you are buying the UVXY, I feel sad for you. I hope it pops at some point, which it should. But as I tried to explain in the chat room today, the best trade on the UVXY is always to short it on every massive pop. Pray the VIX spikes to 90 or something crazy, and then you can short the UVXY. But at this point with the VIX, puts are cheap, folks. It's almost giving people endless opportunity. Now, a lot of people are struggling with, well, is it a bear market? Like, why is the VIX so low? Well, it's just a reoccurring pattern. Look at the 2007s, the 2008s. You had like these spikes and pullback, spike and pullback, spike and pullback, spike and pullback. But what do you notice the whole time? Higher lows, higher lows. Can I get a yes, yes? Yeah, like you see what I'm saying? Like it's just a matter of when. And here's what I mean. Get the spike into the 90s. Let's go look at the UVXY short, because I'm telling you, it's like, there's no such thing as free money, but there kind of is. I guess this product came out in 2011. It's still been a piece of crap. Oh, man, I don't even know. It looks like flatlining, like the movie. Like someone's died, and you're trying to figure out where their pulse is. Where did it pop? I mean, I can't even see it. I mean, good God, this is just such a crappy product. Do you see my point? When someone's like, hey, I need to buy the UVXY. I'm like, just short it. Just short it. I can't even, I'm struggling here. Like a wounded walrus or whatever. What do you call those things? Sea lion hit by a shark. I don't even know what's going on. That's how I feel. Yo, hit that like button. Yeah, that's cool. Look at the UVXY. You got a nice pop from 93 up to 1350, and then you can just short it. And then it's short. Now it's at $10. Do you see my point when people are like, oh, I got to trade, VIX products? No, you don't. Just short them when they pop. It's really that easy. Oh, man. Are we done with that? Will I ever get another UVXY question? Probably I get one tomorrow. But hopefully the people who are watching learn to go, I see why Dan just stays away from it. Now, again, it'll pop, but every time it makes a lower low, it's not going to pop back up. And again, if the VIX, and if it's just not a monster spike until maybe October, what happens if this thing just goes nowhere? And you could have made 30-40% in other trades, and this goes nowhere fast. Anyway, just trying to be real. The SPY, 8-day chop, and then gap. Okay, the problem today that I see, well, CPI, big unknown, right? Chop top. We've talked about this. If you're new to the channel, watch previous videos, or just, I'll do it real quick. You expect chop tops, right? Or novice gap blowouts and fail. It's really that simple. Well, at this point, say novice gap, chop top, novice gap, chop top. The thing I don't like about today, and again, we need more information. So explain the spike back to the 80s back. Oh, you would have just shorted it, and you would have just slept on the UVXY. You would have shorted 1,000 shares and just sat on it. So SPY, here you go. We gapped down today. And remember, this is an outside reversal candle. And again, it's not that big of a reversal candle because you wanted to see it close, say, down here. The best outside reversal candles, let me see if I can pull one up real quick for y'all because they're always somewhere, would be here. You see how it opened up high, closed at the low. Like that was an outside reversal, led to a failure. Here's one. Opened up at the highs, closed middle of the body. Again, how far deep into the previous day's candle? Not really as important as what follows, because typically it should be a bearish pattern. Now, the hardest thing right now is the volume. Someone's asking about this, like, why is the volume so light? And it's like, well, there's just no conviction. A, it's the summer. Most of the professionals don't really do a ton of summer trading. And B, the more we rise on light volume, I mean, again, just how can there be a ton more sellers if there's not that many buyers? So at this point, I would explain the best way possible is that you'll probably get the volume spiking when the market gets closer to capitulating. Like, I don't mind light volume rises and drops because, again, it could be the market maker marking things down. Sometimes at the lows, like here, like this volume explosion led to a pop back and start of the rally. At this point, think about it. The market makers had to absorb all the buyers, right? You know, I mean, not buyers, but the sellers. Think about all the people panic selling that sold down in the 360, 370 range. Now they've been, you can tell they definitely were letting them have it here, but it just kept running higher, which that's fine. They did their job. And this is the biggest thing with trading that I talk about constantly is like, you need to think like the market makers. What you, me, Nathan, Joe, Brian, Mike, whatever, whoever's in here, apes, RS, it doesn't matter what we think or what we want to happen. Like, we're trying to figure out what the market makers, the game, is trying to do. Never forget the quote that relates to poker. Like, if you don't know who the sucker is at the table, it's you. Well, it's the same thing in trading. If you don't know who the sucker is and you don't know what's going to happen and you have zero clue what's going on and you're just following the news, you are the sucker. Because Roblox proved it today. Semiconductors proved it today. And the market's probably going to do what? At some point get smashed. And that's just again, because now the media's pushing a bull market. Hey, look at this. The CPI is not that bad. But have we seen the puke and pivot? As we talked about, there's no puke and pivot. The Fed fund futures rate is a 75 basis point rate hike in September. That is not a pivot, folks. That is them still with their foot on the throttle, not accelerating and not decelerating. It's 75 basis points. I can't even remember the last time I saw back-to-back 75 basis point rate hikes. And for the media to call it pivoting, decelerating, what the beep? No, absolutely not. That is not a pivot, y'all. The Qs, channel high. Don't be surprised now that SMH is leading it lower. Novice gap, chop, and fail. Novice gap, chop, and fail. Novice gap, chop, and fail. How about one more time? Novice gap, chop, and fail. Is this not obvious? Now, if I pause because I'm trying to read comments, but do you see what's going on here? We're playing the probabilities. If the market goes higher and you lose some money, are you going to be pissed? I know I won't, because guess what? I was doing the right things. I always ask myself, am I trading well? Am I neutral? Am I trying to see things as the market is actually doing what the market maker wants? Yeah, I mean, if the market pops tomorrow, the obvious trade is to short it. If it goes a little higher, then stop out and you wait. At this point, though, let's check out the buy WM. Buy, buy, buy. It typically leads the market. What did we say? Look at these red little candles, how they extremes at the highs. Well, look at this. This is where I think a lot of it was confusing. This gap up. Now, I'm not trying to say I knew for sure it'd just turn over and turn into a hammer, but when we talked about this previously on, what was the 5th? Thursday? Friday? I don't mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Thursday. You got this big green candle. And I was like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Because again, it's an anomaly. Big green candle with no volume. Big green candle with no volume. That can be pretty significant. Now, decent little volume, but still, big green candle at the highs. Do you see how that can be a major red flag when it's coming into resistance? Now, my resistance zone clearly has been violated. Let's open it up. Now what, right? It should do what? If the IWM leads, where is it going next? With a novice gap. Keep in mind, 164 to 194, 195. I'm not a math scientist or a math teacher, but I still know that's about 20%. 20% rise in a bear market is typically a bear market rally. And I think this is what's very confusing for folks is what? Well, what is the perfect entry? What is the perfect setup? There is none. It's probabilities. It's repeating patterns. Again, I will short this. If this is a casino, I would make this bet every day, all day, and press the shit out of it. I hope that's obvious. And if I'm wrong, well, guess what? You lose sometimes. But I mean, I would do it the same. Gold. All right, you got your Tesla and gold. This is what's getting interesting. Remember, I don't draw on this chart, or this isn't my trading computer. Look at this little narrow box. I can't even. Come on, box. There you go. Whatever. Oh, that was terrible drawn. My name is Simon, and I like to do terrible drawings. Yeah, there you go. Is that the top? I don't know. Look at the volume here. Like, this is just screaming for demand, right? No. I say this every video. Gold is the king and queen and court jester of doubles and retest. Double bottom, double bottom, double top. I mean, that's just in the last 2 years. Do you get my point? When I get folks who hit me up on FinTwit, Stock Twit, Twit, Dumb Twit, Shit Twit, hey, what do you think of gold? Is it time to buy? No. Why? Watch the videos. Study the past. Well, I'm looking at the daily candles, and I'm watching it since April, and all I can see is the market or gold's down, and it's time to buy. Hey, Bobby, maybe it's time to buy some gold. No, it's not. Just leave it alone. And it's crazy because I have literally taken people, by the hand. Maybe I should put them under my arm and like headlock them with me and be like, don't buy, trade gold. If you bought it, great. You better sell it at some point. No, I think this is the time. Remember, the time that gold, when it actually will rocket off the bottom, is when what? Nobody believes in it. I'm just telling you, that's the best move for gold and silver. When nobody believes gold and silver is going to go higher, ta-da, it will. And you'll be like, wow, I heard that in August of 2022. Probably might be in October. And again, what would make that happen? Probably a lower low. Because again, look at the monthly. Again, I'm trying to roll through this slowly because I know there's a lot of people who might take notes or enjoying the live version. I see a few comments. What is the one thing we know about gold? It's a monster cup and handle. Oh, but you got to be early. Nah, you don't. Absolutely not. Think about it. What is very obvious? If you can get over the 180s, it's going higher. Well, I missed 10 or 15 points. Well, shit. When it's time, it's going to be like this. Up. I mean, think about it. It's going to go up 500%. Oh my God. But you know what? I missed on the first 10%. No. And again, if that happens because something we can't control, whatever, don't care. There's better opportunities out there. You gotta hold gold. No, buy the physical. Buy it at this price. I don't give a crap. Buy silver physical. Great. Do not buy the paper, because the biggest question about paper is what happens in a crunch. What happens if we have a 2008 over in the gold, silver, whatever, the COMEX, all the other exchanges that hold this stuff defaults? I mean, who knows what could freaking happen? I'm always waiting for the fake, whatever, the gold lead, the gold brandish lead bars that are hiding out in China that they're probably buying and selling when that get exposed. Silver, here you go, 19s, not bad. Can call that. And honestly, I was a little disappointed on Friday because I'm like, you couldn't even get to the high. Well, guess what? I was wrong. Thank God. And now the Silver Bulls are all full throttle. They're gonna win, right? Well, I don't know. You're getting into the start of what I would think would be the top zone. How much higher can you go? Well, I'm not going to repeat myself. It's not much. And if it is, it's not. It's going to retest. Silver does that. And if anything, silver just brings you to hell. You'll have way more capital trading around to buy the gold anyway if you miss the first 15%. Yes! Trust me, you'll have a ton more capital shorting the market. By the time gold goes up 10%, you'll probably be shorting something, and maybe you'll have a leverage ETF that's up 50, 60, 70%. And maybe you'll trade some options that do hella good. And maybe you just short a stock and it makes 30, 40%, 20%. Better than gold. Thank you. That is a great point, Nathan. Absolutely. Your upside in gold is still nowhere close to the best trade, no matter what. And if you want to press gold, go right ahead. GDX, piece of shit. I should probably remove this, but guess what? A lot of people watch it. We're going to trade the GDXJ. You know why? Because, again, at this point in the cycle, the large miners are, I wouldn't say they're all tapped out, but their reserves continuously drop. Well, guess what? They need the juniors, and look at the juniors. Way better. GDX versus GDXJ. GDXJ, here's the GDX. Not even close. One is near the 50-day. At the 50-day. One is not even close to the 50-day. At this point, again, take the GDX off your radar to trade. I mean, you can watch it to get confirmation, but this is, think about this. 84 up to 180. I don't know where it could go from 30, but if a gold bull market starts, I'm trying to pretend what it might look like, and this is where the stock would start. I think you can get up into the, I think 1,000% move in materials names. That's not unheard of. I'll show you some names. Again, it's keep in mind, momentum. When it moves out of tech, all of a sudden, the U.S. Steels, the Mosaics, the CFs, the whatever, Nucors, they all of a sudden pretend to act like tech. No, it's just called momentum. It changes. People don't understand momentum at all. And it takes things up and it takes things down. That's why in a bear market, when the momentum comes out of tech, it's like owning gold. It's like owning silver. It's like absolute purgatory. We will laugh one day when someone goes, hey, I want to buy Microsoft at $50. And you're like, ha ha ha, see you in 20 years. And that's a bad laugh, but that's kind of how it goes. I'll show you Microsoft later. AG, again, I'm going to roll through these. Don't buy. Again, this is the Kramer. Don't buy. PAAS, coming up into the range. Don't buy. Newmont, if you ever decide to buy it, you better just trade it. Do not put this in your portfolio. It is a donkey. It is a donkey, and maybe it bounces. It led up, but guess what? It is a donkey. I don't know. How do you make a donkey sound? No, that's a goat. Whatever. See, it just comes back to the goat because everyone wants to be the goat. Pass on it, okay? Let's get to steel names because I think they actually were popping today. And people were asking, do you think steel's going higher? Well, I honestly said I thought the 25s, but yesterday was a doji and you invalidated it. Wow, look at that volume. No. Again, I don't know. It probably has to do something with what? Overseas issues. My guess, steel at this point. Now, again, I say it over and over here. You want to see materials act like tech stocks? Here you go. 7 to 200. You see that? It's called momentum. Momentum. point being, what? Now you're down here. I mean, when you held down here, which we thought we would. I still think you get to like 10s or something, 11. Like in a bear market, when the next velocity of speed selling comes, you will. It's like speed dating, but in reverse. Like everybody's being dumped. And if you don't see it as such, and you've never seen like a bear market speed dating, everyone getting dumped, that's how it plays out. If you're newer, that's just the reality of it. I mean, look at this. This thing was at 38 months ago, and it's only at 24. Oh, but it's undervalued. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. I mean, again, I hope it bounces, and I've said I think it could get up to 25s. I thought yesterday was a ugly signal, but guess what? This is why I can't trade everything and be on top of it. I can short tech, I can long materials, I can buy oil and gas. Again, I can do a few things at once, but I prefer to stick to one. And to me, tech, short, short, short. Again, speed dating. Don't get dumped. This is what could happen here. This is a very attractive, like younger Angelina Jolie, but now she's older. Like now she's got some wrinkles. She looks good still from afar, but you get up close and you go, oh shit, I don't know. Nucor. Up to our range highs. See what happens. Again, you want to see this company's actually been doing really well. That's why I tell people, keep it on your radar. Clearly I mean, again, here you go. Here is purgatory. Here is you wanting to, after the commodity pop, this is what you'll see. Friends of ours, years from now, will be like, hey, man, you want to buy that Microsoft? You remember that Microsoft, that Mr. Softy? You remember that Apple stock? You remember that IBM? You remember that Google? Remember when that stock was fire? Well, then it went into purgatory, and that's what happens. But now it came out of it, and again, like U.S. Steel, not nowhere the highs, but keep in mind, this did amazing, man. It had a bunch of splits. 8 to 70, 83, 1,000%, not bad. The stock is setting up clearly for something bigger. Now, where do you buy it? 70s? I don't know. We don't know. The problem, and this is the thing that I here, take notes, please. Take this note and like put it in your like longer term mental notes. When the VIX spikes to 40 and above, support resistance goes out the window. You will blow by swing points by 10 points, 10%, 5%, crazy more, even that. And it could be 1 day or 2 days. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, I still remember shorting some of the oil service names in 2008, and the VIX just kept climbing, and it was like these stocks, it was like National Oil Varco, I remember it, and it was just like, oh, this was at 110 yesterday, and it's like, whoa, it's at 50. Holy crap, it should hold here. Speed dumping. That's the kind of crap that could happen here. That's the biggest worry here. It's not the beginning of the down move that you have to worry about. It's how this ends. How it ends. That's the same thing with gold. Hey, great, go higher. How it ends, pain. CCJ. I mean, how many people here are following uranium? How many people here have been trapped in uranium? And how many people just see sentiment in uranium endlessly bullish? I'm going to sit here and let the delay pop. And if someone can drop even one comment, I'm just surprised, or I won't be surprised. How many people here just, again, look at uranium. Look at all the nuclear power plants they got to build. All of the bullish fundamentals. Remember those bullish fundamentals? Ugh. I lost the most money trading uranium. Well, that's probably the comment you're going to get the most, honestly. But now what? It's not immune from a bear market. It just doesn't happen like that. Here you go. 2008, 2007, bam. And remember, 2008, the fall of 2008. Look at that. Summer into the fall. 43 down to 11. Who would have expected such? Remember, at this point, where are we? It looks good, but I've said this over and over. It's going to the smoking age at 18, maybe driving age 16. The fundamentals, nothing wrong with it. Again, we need more uranium. We need more solar power. Or not, solar power. Nah, we need more nuclear power. And if you believe that there's anything immune, well, again, you're fighting the probabilities. I take it and ride it how you want. But I promise you this. You are making trading much harder by holding on to this stuff and believing it's going higher. And I hope I'm talking to somebody and they hear that and they actually listen, because I made that mistake. I've probably made that mistake a dozen times. And every time that I did not believe, and it could be a short that ended went going higher. Literally, when I fought the odds, try saying shorting something in a bull market that was not going lower and it went much higher, I got my ass kicked. And when I won on it and I took a few points, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be right. And then it was like, wham, blew me the fuck out. Well, here comes the blowout for uranium, probably bulls at some point. Now, could it get up to 30s? I don't know, man. But I guarantee you this, when the bear market comes, next leg, if you were holding this stuff and you were like every single pumper on shit twit, fin twit, stock twits, dipshits twits, whatever, it ends the same way. And I don't want to be the one who has to like send your mom and dad the bad news. I don't want to make that phone call. Hey, your son, your daughter, they're dead. Really? No, sorry, not dead. They lost all their money in the stock market. That's a scary thought. And if you don't have that fear in the back of your mind when you trade, you're not trading intelligently. You're gambling. Uranium, Tesla, and gold. Yeah, I know, P-Bird. I know. All right, VALE. Let's try to speed this up. Same thing. Love it in the 11s. This is the Scott S. Money bottom. He said, I was like, Wu-Tang. I didn't even get down here. He got here, and I think he noticed the novice gap and then the pro gap. Look at this shit, guys. Gals. Look at this. After a big monster move down. Look at all these gaps. It's like, go any lower. Oh, here's the first bounce. Oh, my God. Novice gap below the lows by a ton. Then it popped up, and then it professionally gapped. It was like, oh, my God. And then we waited for the 20-day. Because what happened? It couldn't get over it last time. Well, it did. And then what happened? Bazang! We rode that one in the spring. I mean, it's not the spring. I guess that was technically December. That one was a nice winner. Nice winner. Chicken dinner. VALE Arrow. All right. Again, if you got a material name, I'll roll through it real quick, but I think you know the answer. Arrow, nice pop. Monthly. Gonna be back in the 8, maybe 6 range, 7 range. I don't know. Someone wanted me to look at Cliff. Ugh, barf. Not that I don't think it's gonna. Again, you have to remember, when I started trading, this is how I remember Cliff. In the penny land. And then it went into the moon. And then since then it's been, what do you want to do with it now? You really want to, you know what I mean? Like, do you really want to be early on Cliff? Because that could be what's called hell. I don't even know if it's called purgatory. I mean, I guess technically the same thing. I'm trying to think what's below purgatory. Is hell? I mean, leave a comment. I'm interested to know what could be worse than purgatory. You know, you go like the levels of pain or the penalty box, purgatory, and then what? You see what I'm saying? Like, get in this thing. Yeah, I see it. It was up in the 30s. Yeah, I get it. But if this rant was for nothing, then I guess it was for nothing. I would not touch it. I just wouldn't touch it. Now, how much lower can it go? I mean, expect 15, maybe back even to the 16 range. Long term, it is on the commodity bus. We won't forget about it. I promise you. It will not be forgotten. Mosaic, let's roll through these commodity names. Let's get to the goods. Double top, chop in, whatever. I don't care. CF said watch this one because it had the best volume. Here's volume price analysis. You see this? Big down. Stopping power. Look at that candle. Small candle. Big volume. Anomaly. Double anomalies. Can you see that? Big down. Small volume. Tight action. Big volume. Well, here we go. Talking about the netherworld. Maybe that's it. Retest. See how we talk about retests? Let me look at this. In the bear market, it just chop. And no wonder it held here. And honestly, I'm very disappointed I didn't even notice that. I mean, I've been talking about it for weeks. But look what it did. Oh, it's breaking the downtrend. Well, here's the problem. It's lacking volume. Does that mean it could get back to the 110, 112? Maybe. I'm just not that interested. AMD. A fly that never goes away for life. I don't know. We talked about this, the Goldman upgrade. Okay, again, here's another little golden nugget for you folks. It's called the buddy pass. When brokers upgrade something that's already gone up a bunch, it's literally to help them sell shares to their clients. Because again, they know clients will buy an upgrade at the highs. Stock goes from 70 up to 100, up 30%. It's a good time to buy. Wrong. Bear market sold. Look at that thing, man. Look at that. I mean, 104, now you're back at 95. Someone had some puts on it. We're talking about it today. Again, if you got September puts disappear, I don't know. I mean, you had 3 puts, took one off. I don't know. If I had September puts and I had, say, the 105s, the 110s, you couldn't take them out of my hand, especially if I only had 3. Especially if I had 3 puts. Now, if I had, say, 15 or 20, maybe I sold half today. But then I would feel bad. And if the market pops, yeah, great. But if it didn't, I mean, you can see when this thing starts to get the roll, it rolls. AMD, again, if you're familiar with the mountain that is AMD, let me show you the hills that once were. The greatness of the hills of AMD. Here we are in the 1990s in the 2000s. You had spectacular moves. And then you went where? The depths of the netherworld. Forever. I mean, look at this. Stock, I mean, you got up in the 40s and it went from like 10 to, I mean, is that a negative number? Did I see a negative? Can I get a confirmation that AMD didn't trade at a negative number? Sorry, $1.79. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could have, I mean, AMD, but you could have bought shares of AMD or gallons of gasoline. That was the play in 2009, 2008. Point being is, you go into purgatory. Do you want to know where we are at in the cycle? Let me, it just grows. It's literally the Himalayas. This is the freaking Himalayas. AMD is an addicting short. I mean, it's honestly the best. Everyone, again, if you look at stock twits, they'd argue it's the best thing to buy. Well, again, it had a great move. When it turns, it's the best thing to short. That's how it works. Look at this thing. Left shoulder, right shoulder, monster head. I mean, I'm talking like grande cabeza, like Spaceballs, like grande helmet, what Lord Helmet. Like, that is the head of heads. AMD 15 puts. Yes, for the leaps. Yeah. Sure, 2025s. Buy them for a penny. No, but in general, though, you know what I mean? Like, go look at stock twits. I would do it together and just go look at I mean, if you actually individually look at the number of people that are posting IMD, I guarantee half of them are bots. And the other half are perma-bulls. And they are going to do what? We're going to have to sing about them at their... we're going to have to pour out some liquor for them because... we're going to be partying and they're going to be hating life. You see the short. I mean, at worst, you're coming back to 70. I mean, next, I guess, 57. Do y'all see that? If you were short AMD and you're using the monthly to start your trade, there it is. Just like we use the monthly to call the bottom. Look at this. Yeah, those people are real. They're real bots. I'm telling you, man. People don't realize institutions and hedge funds. I still remember this. All right, AMD story. Sorry. At a time, they were selling warrants. If you don't know how a warrant works, again, it's basically a product. Or sorry, no, they were doing preferred stock and they were doing bond offering, not warrants. I mean, I guess technically they're all similar, little stupid products. Point being is they were selling preferred stock. They were selling debt to the market, and then Goldman Sachs, I think it was Goldman Sachs, maybe Morgan, they upgraded the stock, but they were the ones buying the bonds from them. People don't realize they were literally, I think you could see the bots endlessly on stock twits, shorting. Because think about this. If you are Goldman Sachs or you are Morgan Stanley, whoever the fuck it was, I apologize, I don't have all the details remembered correctly, but what they were doing was to hedge their debt, because again, if a company goes out of business, the debt is first in line to get repaid, right? Is that all understood? We got it? It's like a mortgage on a house. The mortgage gets paid first, right? All the other liens and all the other subcrap goes later. Well, what would be the best hedge for debt on a company that you're scared of? To short the stock to the ground. And that's what they were doing. They were upgrading the stock like it was a good thing. And then they were shorting the absolute shit out of it to hedge the stock. If you've never heard about this kind of scenario, I'm not surprised. A lot of people don't know what the hell is going on, but do you see, like, imagine if you had, it's almost like you bought life insurance on somebody and your hedge was to short them into the hospital bill, short their hospital bill, or like knowing they're going to have hospital bills and like betting on that. I mean, it's like a win-win. I can't even think of an analogy at this point. My brain is just, but here you go. AMD, lower high, what's coming, lower low. Hope that story makes sense. If again, think about again, if you are a institution and you are letting a company borrow money, the best hedge is to short the stock. Does that make sense? Can I get a yes, yes? Especially if you loan them a ton of money and they could default. Oh, absolutely, you short the stock, and you probably short way more than you let them borrow. Does that make sense? It should be clear as day how that would be smart to do. Well, smart, dirty, technical, whatever, the right thing to do. SMH, professional gap. Do we even need to look at it anymore? Is it done? Are we done? Professional gap. Oh, but it held the 20-day. Professional gap. But it held the 20-day. Professional gap. Professional gap. Professional gap. I'm dancing. I'm literally dancing because you can't pray. I mean, you can only pray that like it turns into this and it just goes just to the ground. Now again, the ground, whatever. Man, who's calling? Don't you know I'm doing a recap? Ask a question. Yes, we are absolutely slaying it. So entry was what? Up into the 240 plus. Once you got over the 100-day, essentially, right? There you go. That's kind of the stuff you're looking for. Ooh, yeah, the October 60s on AMD. That could be a cheapy lottery ticket. Sorry about the delay. SMH, at this point, again, let's zoom out. Let's start on the monthly chart. And remember the days when the SMH. Remember how we talk about ETFs coming out and they usually can mark the top and the bottom? Now remember, there's a lot of these nuggets that hopefully you're creating a long list. Remember, my list is 20 pages. I'm working on that right now to get dropped. But this is one of them. ETFs on the super high flyers come out when? Near the tops and the bottom. Yeah. Look at that, SMH. 100. See you down in the freaking teens, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Let's climb that mountain. Now what? Oh, shit. Look at it. I mean, a lot of people are like, why are you buying the SMH? I'm like, I'm watching the old trend here. Look at that trend line. It bounced perfectly, which that was cool. We were a little early, but, you know, y'all know me. I'm usually early. I don't want to miss the party. I like to get a good parking spot. At least if I'm going to drink and drive. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want to be there early because I hate missing the moves. I was going to say if I was drinking and driving, I'd want the front parking spot, but that's just wrong to say. But I have a twisted sense of humor, and I just let it out. But no, I mean, think about it now. You're back into what? We've said this, a million times. Always go out to the monthly. Please, please, please. You're into the resistance zone. Didn't we say you could get maybe up into 250s? Maybe. But at this point, you can't bet on it. Look at this volume. Look at this counter candle. Like, it's just, ugh. Then you go look at the daily. And what do we say? Buy the rumor, sell the news. I hope people remember the specific tweet I said was the reason why I wanted to buy the stock. I remember we were looking at SMH, and I think it was somewhere in here, and then it came back down. And one of the things we talked about was Mitch McConnell was like, he literally was telling Pelosi there's no deal. And what did we say? Well, that means this is the start of the negotiation. He finally said, we're not going to do that. Well, it was more like, yeah, we're going to do that, but we all need to buy some stock. So give us like a couple days and then we'll talk later. Novice gap, professional gap. Once we saw the professional gap, what did we say? Let it run. Once we see the professional gap, let it run. Frank the Tank. All right? That's really all it is. I mean, do you want to dig into a deeper level, or do you want to short pops? If you don't, and again, if you're a day trader, I feel bad for you because, again, I started as a day trader. We all do. But you evolve into swing trading because you see what? That predicting what's going to happen for 6.5 hours out of the day doesn't really matter. I just want to predict the move. I want to know that I'm going from point A to point B and how I get there. Point A to point B, down to new points. Pops, we knew it was going higher. Now it pulls back. I don't care how the hell it gets there because I'm going to give myself a lot of time. And if you got your Soxes and you got your long-dated puts, Golf clap. Apple. Oh, Apple. What did we talk about? I mean, I guess I say what did we talk about a lot. Bull market, it would break over the range highs from here. Talked about this because, again, high volume highs, volumes, candle, whatever, this chop zone. It got over it. That was the confusion. And then it went, game over. I welcome you back to repeating pattern number 1138. You get back to the top of the range and you look above it. Oh, but Apple was strong today, Dan. You see that within the market? Yeah, great. I don't care, man. I just don't care. Because this has a repeating pattern and it wants to play games up here. Great. They want to buy back all their shares and waste all that money on a buyback. Go right ahead, because at some point the market will look at it as punitive. They will not look at it as a reward, because guess what? There's no growth. They will be buying back all their stock and they will be losing money left and right. I will buy Apple back at 45. Actually, I will probably never buy Apple. The irony of it. I won't. There'll be something better. When the tech bubble bursts, there will be something better. And if there isn't, well, maybe we do. But I would, again, if you guys even remember some of the names in the tech bubble, you can't, because they're not even around, or they got bought out for nothing. Ooh, remember BlackBerry, Palm Pilot, Nortel, Lucent Technologies? All these names were high flyers. Netscape, ooh, these were Yahoo, ooh, Yahoo, fuck, man. You want to, again, you'll look back at Apple and you'll be like, yeah, I remember that thing is hot. It's like it's literally like, I mean, the best way to describe it might be like, it's a hot girl in high school. She grew up. Now she's 70 and you're like, I want to date her. Nah. We'll look for younger models, y'all. We'll look for younger models. I'm sorry. If my wife's listening to this, that's just how it is. I would expect you to do the same. Meta. Here's another one. Ooh, Meta. Here's another one. Look at this crap, y'all. It held. I mean, again, we draw these trend lines and they just somehow work sometimes. Not surprised. We said 155. Bounce. Bounce. Now what? I mean, look at it. It couldn't do crap in the last couple months. That's why I was watching it and trading. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Meta sucks. And it's like, it was giving me a temperature of the market. And it would bounce. And it bounced every time for weeks. Now, I wish it would have bounced bigger because it would have made it worth it. But, hey, I mean, cumulative, how many points did you guys make on Meta in the last, I don't know, 4 weeks? I mean, it moved 5-10 points over and over and over again. Well, now, I mean, look at this. Wee. Coming down. Watch the 155. I mean, here is a special trade. You know how I say don't chase? Well, here you go. Here is what might be considered chasing, but here's the trade. If support equals resistance and support breaks and it's been holding for months, what is going to happen next with Meta? If it breaks the 155 level, you can go all in short with a tight stop. And that to me isn't chasing, because guess what? Chasing essentially would be not letting the base form. Does that make sense? You have to let the base. You have to let the base run. Like, what was it? Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Once the base forms, now you can go with it. And let me see. I'm trying to figure out if I can remember like a base formation and go. Oh, let's jump into XBI. XBI. Here you go. Here was a base. Base. Once you broke out over 84, and it sucked, even if you chased the gap, look what it did. 85 to 95. Here you go. I mean, are y'all seeing this like kind of base? Here's a base that failed. Once the bottom dropped, see ya. Here's a base, and I mean, you can kind of see here. This is what's so crazy. Support equals resistance. I mean, I say that over and over. You broke out, you came back, then you went. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you can identify these levels that matter, you can technically press them. Now, what I tell people is when you press those kind of trades, and here's a little side note, the first couple points you take the money, and then you let your core ride, because what can happen is what? A fake breakout. That happens a lot. Here you go. Fake breakout, retest, then go. That happens a lot. Hence, that trade is very speculative and dangerous. And I'm talking about it. Someone's going to go out there and Facebook's going to drop below 155 tomorrow, and then it's going to close at 160. And they're going to go, what the man? And I'm going to be like, well, you probably didn't listen because it got to 150 at one point, and then you held it completely. Oh, where was I? XPI. Oh, yeah. All right. Here's a great example, folks. VPA. NDAQ. Oh, yeah. We will do the NADQ because that is... oh, my God. I'm getting off topic. But that one, to me, y'all don't realize how awesome it is to short exchanges. Think of coin and digital currencies and then the NASDAQ and all the tech names. I'll leave it there. We'll come back. Just marinate on that while I'm chatting. Here you go. Big up candle, green volume. Potential distribution? Let's see. Next day, novice gap, tight action, equal volume. Holy testicle Tuesday. We started shorting yesterday, and I honestly got a little sloppy. I was like, I don't care what 92, 93. I added a little bit. Today it popped, and we said, watch the 92.90 area. What was the high of the day? What was the high? I'll be still holding them Napster shares. Ha! No shit. The high was 93.30. Dan, you're a terrible trader. Well, look at the level that mattered. It was like right here, 92.90. See this? I mean, maybe hold on. Let's zoom in. Again, the guy who never zooms in, here we go. We'll zoom in, right? Oh, I can't see. There's too many charts. I'm in a time machine. No, here we go. Support equals resistance. Where's the good? Oh, not those candles. Here you go. High volume, right? Ding, 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 ding. I would say, I mean, you could draw it multiple ways. Again, 92.90 to 93.30. Oh my God, VPA. Now again, you got to know. Look at this thing. Here's the high volume candle, right? And again, I was talking with Lupus about. He's talking about dark pools and how dark pools act. And it's like, yeah, dark pools, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is volume. Look at this. It became absolute the resistance area. And now again, Dan, it didn't stop at 92.90. My bad, dog. You know, that's a no, dog. No, it was a pop and flop. And then if you watch it, and that's where I was telling folks this morning, I'm like, hey, oh, look at that. Look at these long double wicks. Look at the wick. And it's like, bang, goodbye. Now it bounced in the afternoon. Ooh, somebody sold it at the close. Oopsies. Do y'all see how like obvious this trade is? Now, how does it get back into the 60s? Good question. Does it do this? Does it do this? Does it do this? Do you see my point? When it's ready to turn, it's well worth the short. And if you can't get that, I don't know what to tell you. Microsoft. Hey, Mr. Softy. Rolling top. Gap and then fail. Sloppy, choppy. Let me zoom in. Sloppy, choppy. Well, what do you think Microsoft is doing? It's waiting for the dollar to go up. Again, if you listen to their conference call, they literally whined and complained, oh, we would have made money if the dollar was doing better. Freaking Mr. Softy. I get it. Well, what do you think is going to happen? When the market rolls, this will roll. Now, again, I don't own a ton of this. I do own a decent amount because, again, I want to see. I mean, you can short Apple, Microsoft. The reason why I want to short Microsoft is 280 down to whatever is better than 160s down to whatever, or 170s. Do you see the point? Like 280 to whatever the low ends up being, because this is what gets me excited about Microsoft is you're at the 20 month. And I know people don't ever zoom out. And again, I say these things on the Discord room, but no one ever goes to the monthly to check out my trades. They go, hey, what did he say? I don't see it. And you're like, yeah, I know you don't see it. Holy shit. Oh, but Microsoft held up to even, if my dad somehow was listening to this and I was telling him about shorting Microsoft, he goes, what's wrong with Microsoft today? It was up. Are you still short it? I'm like, I'm drooling. I'm drooling because, again, look at this mountain. Look at this mountain. Look at this mountain. When it's ready to roll and the 20-month ends and the game over, Microsoft could go down to 200. So you tell me 282 to down to, 280. I even got some at 285. Do the math. 282 down to 225 versus Apple going from like 170s to 115, 120. I don't know. I don't think you're going to like it. I think I like Microsoft better. And again, remember, Microsoft doesn't have the stupid big buyback. All right. We good? Comprende? Who's hitting me up on the other room? I can't see it. I'm not looking at it. Where are we at? Meta, Apple. Do we do Apple? Did I do Apple? Oh my God. Yeah, I did. Talking about the slightly higher high. Give me 2 seconds. Got to see who the hell is hitting me up on Discord. I hear you beeping. Okay. It's a whole lot of nothing. Sorry, we did Apple. Man, you do this every day. It feels like the same thing. Let's get into NDAQ because I think a lot of people are going, Dan, what are you doing with this stock again? Okay, Coinbase to digital currencies. Remember this? Ooh, I haven't even drawn on this chart. It's a virgin chart. How exciting is that? All right. You see this move? Do we see this move? Do you see this move? This thing IPO'd in 2000 and went, pfft. How funny is that? God, I remember that. IPO'd. I mean, I think there's been some splits, obviously, but 16 down to 5. Oh. Oh, God. Okay. Right? We see it. We see this big mountain of a chart, right? NASDAQ's the coolest thing ever, right? Let's go to the videotape. But Dan, it's holding up. Well, do I have to say it now? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, but I trade off the 10-minute all day. All right, I'm gonna find my trades on the monthly, and you trade on your intraday crap. So now what? It's very clear, right? 3-for-1 split. Yep, that is right. And again, too many splits is not good. People don't realize this. Actually, gosh darn it, now you're going to distract me, but this is important. Splits, this is a great question. I'm coming back. I promise. Let's just go Cisco. Good old Crisco Cisco. D did way too many splits. Think about, look at this. Ding, 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 split, 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 split. What's the problem with splits? All right, if shares are like any inventory where if there's a less amount of them, the better. Why, again, think about why Buffett doesn't split his stock. He does not want to create more volume of stock to trade. Because think about it. If you and I pretend we owned NADQ, right? Say we bought the stock and it does a 3-for-1 split. Inherently, would we not sell some shares just to let it run? Like, isn't that the normal nomenclature for how to handle split stocks? The more they go up, the less, you'll sell some off. Right? Now you have more. Think of it as toilet paper is rare, and then there's tons of toilet paper. The value of it goes down. Keep in mind, stocks are literally pieces of paper. The rights to something, it's toilet paper. Well, now you increase the supply by 3, and you give people a reason to sell. And again, in a rip-roaring bull market, the idiots that think splits are good. When it turns to bear market, the split is literally the kiss of death. Because again, at some point, you're like, oh, I got all these shares. I better sell some of them. Well, then it starts going lower. Do you want to buy it back? I don't know. Now people start questioning their own sanity. Now, do you see what's going on here? This has what I consider rolling formations. It's like a little slower. Here's your rolling top. It's like a cresting wave. I've posted the big kahuna wave. Hopefully y'all saw that. Man, this is getting an hour. I apologize, but whatever. When this crests, what do you see? I see a stock that went from 183 down to 140 in a absolute straight line. Do you see why I'm interested in it? Yep, Tesla split, no doubt. Do you see? Now again, can I be wrong? Do I take heat? Yep. Could it go higher? Absolutely. But are we not fishing in the right zone? Can I get confirmation? You guys see this? It was resistance here. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. Resistance. And then once it broke of it, it backed up. Do you see how support resistance works? Yeah, we're going to talk about Tesla next. Because that thing's a piece of too many splits. Way too many splits. Here you go. Do you see why it's like, well, it didn't go down today. Well, dang. I guess the trade didn't work. Well, again, if you're watching on the intraday and you don't know how this works, you're probably rather frustrated, which again, that's why we have a little semiconductor. We got a little semiconductor snack, you know? We got a little bit of that SOX SOXS. We got some XBI. All those looking good. Oh, but Microsoft. June 15th. You're talking about NDAQ? What are you talking about? SMH 220's demand and resistance. Yeah, we can get in that in a second. Yeah, sorry, July 15th. Right there. Yeah. Look at that little baby professional gap. Yeah. What moving averages I'm using? 8, 10, 20, 50, hundo, 2 hundo. Blue is the 2 hundo. Yellow is the hundo. 20 in red. Orange, 50. The 8 and the 10 day are this light blue and green. SMH, the demand resistance to 220 to 2. No, hold on. Now you're talking about something. All right, rolling wave. Got it? Because this is a good question. SMH, what's the downside? I apologize that I don't talk about it, but it's at this point like we're not there yet. Let's pull up the monthly. 78? I don't know. Where do we see the next congestion? I see it in the 170s here. But honestly, I see it. I think you guys see it. It's going to be somewhere around here. It's probably going to be somewhere around the 140 to 150 range. Now, that seems like a long way, but think about it. If you fail under the 20 month and you're in a bear market, the semis can get absolutely shit canned. Right? Zoom, zoom, zoom out. Remember when it IPO'd and semiconductors were the shiznit? 107 down to 12. 14, whatever. That's the kind of shit we're talking about when a bear market takes over. And in the old, once momentum is lost, it's speed dating dump style. Everybody's dumping you. Like you can't even get a yes out of. I can't even say these things because YouTube's probably listening. But just picture the worst possible people to sit at a speed dating table with, and them telling you, not interested, blowing you off like you are complete trash. That is what happens to tech momentum. I mean, I guess you could say the 170s. It just really depends. Remember, what did we talk about? The fall. Here you go. June 2008 down to what? October, September. Look at that. Look at that move. It was literally sayonara. Now do the percentage-wise. What was this? 32 down to 16. I mean, I would take a 50% drop from here. How about you guys? Let's do the math. 250, 240s, 125. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, let's not worry about the downside yet until we start cooking. Like, these are things that you can look for later. Just trust me. We're shorting the leaders because they follow the market. And if things follow the market, they're going to go lower. Where am I? Oh, Roblox. By the way, this is why, again, take notes of this. This is why you take profits into earnings. You have no clue what's going to happen. It hit our target zone on Friday. Look at them apples. And now you go look at today's action after the close. Good God. You got up to 49, and now you're at 39. There's nothing to say here. Game over. You should be out of the stock. Where am I going to buy it? Nope. Bear market. Watch it. Let it run if you're shorting it. But probably no one's short. It's dead. Tesla. OMG. Let's use the vernacular of the kids. Where did Tesla die? Where did Tesla die? Where did Tesla die? I mean, I know that's a wide range. Look at this area. I mean, who knows? I mean, you probably can see it a little better on the weekly. Disaster for the portfolios. Yeah, disaster. Yeah, this is where I was trying to I was like, you can see it a little better. What is this? What is this? What is this? See that shampoo bottle now? Stick it up your beep. If you don't remember the Adam Sandler songs, that's the Head and Shoulders shampoo formation. Now you're doing another split. Think about the momentum. what would happen if this thing dropped before the split? What would happen in general in a bear market? You see my point? People started shorting it. You can see this level. I mean, it. Oh, Dan, you liked the short at 940. Well, yeah, because then you can zoom in. Talked about the fibs up here, and then we talked about like the two. You had your reference. Remember, this was earnings. Y'all remember that song? Some of y'all from like when you're in high school or in college, or some of y'all may have been kids. Adam Sandler soundtrack. We said, all right, here's your reference, and then look what happened. Retest. Pro gap. Now, if it pops tomorrow, someone's going to come onto the channel and go, hey, you said short Tesla, and now it's going higher. Ugh, dope. No, like the Homer Simpson. Dope. No, All right, leave it alone. If you're shorting it, now again, this is the hardest thing about Tesla is in its down moves, it gets these stupid spikes that will throw you off, right? So the key with shorting Tesla is what? Trade around your position. Trade around your position. Trade around your position. Because it'll go heat seeker down. Like, we know that. Keep in mind, like, the dumbest money is buying, right? I mean, again, if you own Tesla and you're listening to this and you're offended that I said the dumbest money owns it, well, look in the mirror. Because here you go. Here is the granddaddy of them all. Here is the biggest, I mean, literally, the biggest move you'll probably ever see other than Bitcoin in your life. Yet you want to continue holding it? I wish you well. I wish you well, my friend, because you don't know your history. EXPI. Speaking of fundamentals, what a piece of crap. What a piece of crap. Outside of capital crimes, what's trade-off from straight shorting versus using TL? Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have, to short Tesla, you have to get the shares. You're also going to have to probably have a margin requirement of double what the shares are. Because, again, keep in mind, the brokers think about shorting as having endlessly wrong potential. Versus the Tesla Q, I'm pretty sure there might be like an extra 30% requirement margin. Either way, you're going to have to pay to play in that game. That's why if you play puts, you got to be really careful. I mean, it's short Microsoft. Oh, that's a little easier. Short semiconductors, short XBI. Again, Tesla is a very expensive stock. We play it very rarely. I short it, pull 100 points out of there. I just don't like things that I can walk away and some stupid headline, because Elon Musk is the master of manipulating the stock. No one is going to say shit about Microsoft. No one's going to say anything about the semis, other than the semis. But what, you know what I mean? Like, you're playing with fire. It's going lower, how you want to trade it. I honestly thought the Tesla Q was the best way because, again, shorting Tesla stock, if I had a look right now, I'd guarantee the brokerage would require at least double the value of the stock as a requirement to short it. Which, that means you only really can get 50% of what you want versus 100% of something great. How about that? Does that make sense, TB? EXPI. If fundamentals matter, the stock would be at 100. It doesn't. We're down here. We talked about buying it. Whatever. Moving right along. UTHR. I swear to God, I want to slap people who ask me about this stock. And not in a bad way. We talked about, here's volume price analysis. This is the CF double bottom, but just days between. Here's your head and shoulders. Here's your retesting the shoulder line. Now what? Leave it alone. It could be we talk about like the dinosaur pattern. Here it is. Here's like the body and the legs. Here's the neck. Now it's been shot. And it's just going to fall over. That's what happens. If it doesn't get bought out, it's going lower. Let's end it on oil. Again, oil so boring. Do you guys not see it? Like, oh, hey, look at oil moving now. It's probably going lower, but man, think of it like big game hunting. It's like oil is, I would say like the pig, wild boar, and we're shooting after what? Dinosaurs? Tech dinosaurs? Like, while they're still living and roaming the earth, we're shooting at them. Get a kill on a dinosaur and tell me how you do. I've done that before. It's pretty impressive. But it's been a long while. Oil, back to the 20-day. If you traded it, I think it probably goes lower. But keep in mind, there's just a lot of geopolitical stuff. Do you see why, like, geopolitical stuff at this point is in our favor? Nothing good can happen. And Could it affect oil and gas higher? That's the biggest problem here, because I thought this might be an M, and then I realized after we sold it and was like, oh, it's back. Maybe this is the double top. Like, is this? I think they call this him and her top, and they call this the V top. What is it? Have you ever heard that, the him and hers top for an M? If you have, I can't remember who claimed to call it that and why I remember hearing that, but it's the him and hers top. Hey, no, it's just a double top, and here's the masculine energy top. I don't know, just the straight blow out, blow off, and you're done. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, UNG gas. Anyway, leave it alone. Well, I hope this kind of stuff helps. Again, I know this is a longer video. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate people hanging out. If you have any real estate questions, please, don't be the idiot who thinks the 70s and 80s were bad for real estate. It doubled and tripled. If inflation is coming, people don't need Tesla. They don't need oil. Well, they probably need oil. Sorry, scratch that. Oil and commodities will do well. But if you want to get passive income, it's not going to be from oil and gold. And maybe you can get it from some of these royalty miners, whatever. I prefer real estate. I think it's the safest play. People will always need a place to live. I know I say this every video. The run rate used to be 25 million a year when I started in real estate. Now it's 5-6 million. We're not building a lot. As long as the U.S. is the place to live. Now that could change if the current administration just starts locking up foreigner presidents for being who they are. We'll see. Anyway, it's good chatting with you guys. I appreciate y'all. Again, every day I'm trying to teach you guys how to become better traders. This isn't about me. I don't make you hit enter and exit. So if you're doing really well, golf clap. And that's you. Because again, I can teach this to people and they will fuck it up. And you give them options and they'll just blow it out. And then they'll actually lose. So anyway, is the Discord free? Yeah, everything's free, dude. It's always free. Because why? If I can teach you how to actually do this, one of these days you're going to feed me a winner. And when you feed me the winner, I will pay you back for it. Because that's the thing. I can't always be at the computer all the time. So I'll talk to you guys and gals later. Have a safe night. Take notes. Watch this on your particular stocks. Remember, NDAQ, rolling type, Microsoft, slow chop top, semiconductors, ProGap, EXPI, volume price analysis, blow off, and novice gap. It's really that simple, man. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.